Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD, and today we'll be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1057 of One Piece. This was a pretty cool chapter. I'm not gonna lie to you, this review's not gonna be as hype as some of my others, but we'll get into it. If this is your first time on my channel or you've been here before but haven't done so already, would greatly appreciate it if you could do me a solid, like, share, and subscribe, bang that bell, hook a brother up. I would really appreciate it. Anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this review. Alright everyone, so chapter 1057 of One Piece, the final curtain. It is the final chapter of Wano. We are officially done. We are officially out, right? I'm gonna be real with you though. I did not enjoy this chapter as much as I've enjoyed the last few chapters. This is a personal opinion, and you know, I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely hate whenever I come into a chapter review and I'm not as high off a chapter as I know some fans to be. It makes me feel like a dick, like a jerk, like I'm hating on One Piece. And I just want you guys to know that this is my favorite shonen of all time. I literally think One Piece is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I think it's gonna go down in the annals of history as like literally the greatest shonen of all time. However, that being said, nothing is 100% perfect. No matter what, even if it was good, things will not satiate certain people, things will not resonate with other people. My favorite arc isn't going to be your favorite arc isn't going to be my favorite arc. So I just want to kind of, you know, disclaimer and throw that in right now. So let's start off with, you know, the Uta stuff. I heard Film Red is out. I don't know if I'm going to go check it out yet or not. I might wait later. I might go and see it if, you know, if it pops up, but I have no like really strong interest in it. I'm slightly interested because, you know, it's apparently canon now, like Oda's writing it in, so like canon, me, like we go like this. So if it's canon, I'm definitely gonna try to get my hands on it, but we'll find out later. But anyway, we get, you know, the third issue in a row of, you know, the Uta backstory, and we have, you know, the Shanks pirates, you know, just losing their minds. Apparently Uta has been crying forever and it's driving them insane. We find out Lucky Roo is a freaking savage because he's like, yo, let's just, you know, knock her the fuck out, yo, she'll stop crying then. And I just love the fact that Bebek was like, you do that and we will gang stomp you. Like, what kind of suggestion is that? So I'm glad the entirety of the crew isn't on that bullshit. Also, Yasawa's looking weird in his corner. First of all, like, his nose doesn't look long from the side portfolio, but maybe Oda didn't want to portray like that. And also his lips were looking ridiculous. So I was like, all right, Oda, chill, calm down with that. But we get this panel where there's this female, and at first I was super confused. I was like, are we moving back and forth? Is it Uta? Is it blah blah blah? But I think the obvious like answer right now is that it's Uta's mom, which leads me to like wonder and question who the child that that Uta's mom is holding is. A lot of people were thinking Luffy. I for a second didn't think Luffy, but you know, very well could be. But I really don't think it's Luffy. I don't know why. I have no reason to doubt it's Luffy, but just for some reason I'm just not getting Luffy vibes. But anyway, it appears that, you know, Uta inherited her singing because her mom is singing, and it seems like that's the only thing that really, you know, can calm Uta down. So the crew joins along in song and sings to her. So that was adorable. That was nice to see. And it's a nice little callback from like when we first meet Shanks' crew and they're just all chilling out in the bar. And I'm trying to remember if they all sang at some point. But yeah, that was a cool scene. So anyway, cover story. You guys know I love my cover stories. A lot of people's predictions that Caesar Clown was going to step in and help out happened. So he's in there. He's helping out with, you know, helping out with the Germas. I'm wondering why. Maybe he wants to, you know, reestablish a relationship with Judge. Maybe he knows that this is his only way off the island. He's trapped. Even though Caesar can fly, so I'm just really surprised, like, why he's still here. But we're gonna find out in the meantime. But I know that there's gonna be a lot more to this story than meets the eye. But obviously, there's going to be some form of alliance or partnership or team up with the Germa 66 and Caesar that I'm hoping is going to have some really, really cool, contribution to the story down the road. Anyway, let's get into the actual chapter. So we start off this chapter with the teacher from earlier who was in the classroom teaching, reteaching the kids the history of Wano, because as we know, they were brainwashed by the gifter teacher, told different events of the story, versions of the story, different versions of the events that transpired in the story. Nailed it. And so they're listening to basically Wano via this guy's point of view, and I kind of liked, while we were listening through this story, the fact that the dude is taking many liberties with it and changing some things here or there. More or less the story is the same, but he's taking certain embellishments, so that was kind of funny. I kind of enjoyed that. And so we have Kinemon and Momo rushing to the docks to see Luffy off. Knew it was going to happen, knew there was no way that, the people that they met first, that they've known the longest from this arc, they were going to Irish goodbye and not see. And I knew it was going to be an emotional goodbye, right? And so the whole time that they're running, they're just livid, they're mad, they're screw Luffy, F Luffy, how could he do this? I thought we were homies, how is he going to leave me behind? And Kinemon is just acting like Momo's hype man. He's like, yeah, I'm with you. How could they do that? He's like, yeah, this is a disgrace. Yeah, they're disgracing your name. This is the highest, insult. And I'm just like, y'all need to chill out. It's not like that. That there's, more than meets the eye here. That something's going on. But I do like the way that they're hyping it. I do understand the pain going on that Luffy literally said his goodbyes to everyone but them. I would personally take that some type of way too. So I totally got that, right? We get a flashback, and gonna be honest with you, wasn't in the mood for a flashback right now, especially when it wasn't a flashback of information we don't know. It was just a flashback of, their interactions together. And honestly, I'm being picky right here, because honestly, this is going to play out super well in the anime. It's going to be very emotional. There's going to be dope music, and the scenes are going to be better. But right now, I'm just craving and lusting for more knowledge, more lore, more progress in the story. We've been kind of stagnated in Wano, so anything that isn't new information, isn't telling me something new, isn't moving us forward, I'm kind of I don't care right now. This is a waste of panel. Not saying it actually is. I'm just saying these are my emotions and feelings as I'm reading it, right? I will talk about something that really pissed me off this chapter. Oh, before I get into that, I just want to say I kind of wish this was the last chapter before we went into break. I think that if this was the pre-break chapter, I would have I wouldn't have loved it. There's no way I would have loved it, but I would have been way more accepting and tolerant of it. I would have been okay, he's winding down, he's ending the arc, he's going, he's setting us up for the big aftermath. But for a 1 month break, and then for a 1 month break to occur, and then another 1 week break to occur, to have this chapter just felt a little bit lackluster to me. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if I'm being harsh. Let me know if you think I'm stupid. But I was just man, I am not really to come back off of break and to get this kind of chapter where there were some really nice emotional parts, but this is not what I was looking forward to after having to wait a week and just kind of waiting to see what happens next, waiting for Yamato to join and stuff like that, waiting to see what would happen. This wasn't it for me. Speaking of waiting for Yamato to join, as you guys know, Yoda rickrolled us, he blueballed us, and I'm gonna be real with you, I'm kind of livid about it. I don't quite understand the personal choice here, the story choice here, why he went that route. There was a video that I bullshitted on releasing, and it was people I think who might join the crew after Wano, why and why not, essentially. That work, the title was in the works. I never got around to it. But long story short, I really thoroughly thought that Yamato was going to join the crew, and I had a list of reasons why, and I had a list of reasons why not. And as far as why, We're in a new part of the world. She's a really strong combatant. She's the son of Kaido. She could be the new journalist, chronicler for the crew. We are now in the end game of One Piece, and we are now at a place where we need the strongest fighters. Like, we can't be recruiting weaklings at this point. Like, if we were, then take Otama as the cabin girl and stuff like that. But like, we really have to be, we see Blackbeard's crew, we see all these other Yonko crews. We need strength right now. And don't get me wrong, Zoro is that dude. Sanji is that dude. We got Jinbei, Frankie is no slouch, okay? Like, Robin out here pulling her own weight. Brook is that guy, right? The only weak ones really are Usopp and Nami. And now that Nami has Zeus, she's a powerhouse in her own right. Chopper out here with an excellent monster point, and we still haven't seen much from Usopp, and I feel like Oda intentionally did that because he's setting up something amazing for him in Elbaf. But I want to stop guessing and trying to interject what I want to happen in the story, because it's making me sad. What if we get to Elbaf and it's not Usopp's arc? Now, I know to a lot of you that sounds crazy, but I thought Wano was going to be what Whole Cake was for Sanji, and it definitely didn't turn out that way. And I thought Wano was going to go a lot of different ways and was going to have a lot of different focuses, and it didn't go that way. So I'm just trying to sit back and enjoy the story at this point, because I think kind of just forcing and interjecting these thoughts and opinions and headcanon into the story is kind of leading to unforeseen ramifications of high expectations. Another thing I hate is how the editors right now keep saying all these things like, oh, this is going to be the most ambitious arc, this blah blah blah. Like, you're setting things up for failure by setting these super high expectations. Do I always have high expectations of One Piece? Of course I do. It's freaking One Piece. But I need to let people to get out my head and to enjoy it. But back to what I was saying about Yamato, I thought there were phenomenal reasons for her to join. Another Conqueror's Haki user. You had Rocks that had all these Conqueror Haki users under him, and I thought it would be just another thing to just showcase what a great captain Luffy was, to have these people with Conqueror's Haki under him, to have this skilled crew under him, to have the son of Kaido, the daughter of Kaido under him, right? But I also thought two things that bothered me about Yamato was, one, the whole Odin thing, and I was thinking she has to denounce that, she has to get rid of that, she has to be her own person. I believe in inherited will, but straight up jacking, what she's doing is straight up identity fraud, right? You're not Odin, and I kind of wanted Luffy to be you're Yamato, I don't want Odin in my crew, I want Yamato, blah blah blah, you're your own person, blah blah. You're free to carry on Odin's will, but you are your own person. And I was hoping that it was going to be a situation like that, and that would be the reason that she would or wouldn't join the crew, with the whole Odin aspect. On top of that, I was okay, if you are adamant about being Odin, then one dilemma that I felt that Odin had was, because he chose adventure over duty, right? He exposed Wano to danger. Because he left, Wano was, subjugated by Kaido. And so I thought that, there was going to be a moment in the story where Yamato says that, I'm Odin, and, the biggest mistake Odin ever made was leaving Wano defenseless, and I can't leave this place, till blah blah blah, yada yada, till Odin's strong enough to defend, something. And we didn't get that at all, and that really bothered me, right? So I just thought it was super weird, and I don't know, it just felt like Oda did so much setup to just pull this bait and switch, and then to have Yamato say I'm joining the crew, and you'll see, despite me being kind of upset and a little surprised that Yamato didn't join the crew, in all my reviews I said I'm not buying it yet, until Luffy says, yeah, you're gonna join my crew. I'm not buying it yet. There was a million times where Yamato said, I'm joining the crew, and I was like, well, it looks like Oda's cementing, Yamato's gonna join the crew. But until Luffy is front and center and Luffy gives the okay, I'm not 100% sold yet, and this is exactly why. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, it really just seems like this was a last minute decision. This wasn't the route that Oda wanted to go, and something changed. This also, not the only other time I felt this, but a recent time I felt this was the same with Zunisha and opening the borders to Wano. What what the hell was the point of Zunisha even showing up, right? So I don't know. I have a lot of problems with this, and like I don't even get Carrot either. Like me not getting Carrot was gonna be like kind of, you know, taken care of by at least while I get Yamato, another really cool person. But now I get neither of them. This is super weird to me. And Oda kind of left the door open for a situation where Yamato can join later. Like there's some excuse about she doesn't know much about the world. She wants to explore Wano, blah blah blah. But like I don't know. It's just something doesn't sit right with me about this. Please let me know how you feel about that. Maybe I'm being petty and spiteful because I really wanted Yamato to join the crew, but anyway, I digress. I'm not a fan of that decision. And not only am I not a fan of the decision, I'm not a fan of the excuse of the decision, especially when literally like a chapter or two ago she was like, I'm joining the crew. So it's kind of baffling to me. Anyway, Momonosuke, Kinemon, and Yamato show up to the the docks, and they're charging at Luffy, and they're basically cussing him out, screaming at him, and you think that they're about to give him all this shit for abandoning them, but Momo all of a sudden turns into his human form and starts bawling, crying, reminding us once again this is like a 9-year-old kid internally. He's still a young one. Even Nami is feeling sad, even though she literally slapped him earlier because he looks like an adult, and Zoro's kind of making fun of him because he looks pitiful. And I don't know, it was kind of cute. I do like the callbacks to him being 9. I still have issues with, I don't want to complain too much. Like I said, I hate complaining about One Piece because then I feel like people will take it over serious and like, why are you shitting on One Piece? No, just certain things I do not like. I've been having a rough day, by the way. Just things I don't like. Like I'm currently reading the light novel for this series called Overgeared, which if you haven't read already, check it out. The manga is phenomenal. And like one of my favorite characters in that series, who's like probably like the greatest swordsman in the entirety of that series, decided to give up the sword to become a farmer. And like he still fights and stuff, and like he's strong as a farmer, but like it would be like Zoro randomly deciding he doesn't want to be the strongest swordsman in One Piece and decides he wants to tend to Nami's like orange trees or whatever on the sunny. Like it would bother me profusely, and that's kind of what happened. So like I'm just taking L's left and right today in stories in terms of what I'm expecting and what I want to happen and what the author is giving me, but I'm going to take it regardless because both stories are phenomenal. But yeah, Momo's crying. He's like saying, please don't leave, and it kind of makes me be like, this is exactly why Luffy didn't say anything. This is exactly why he ghosted you, why he broke up with you, because you make a scene, you're dramatic. So I thought that was kind of funny, right? But what happens next is honestly super endearing, is super cute, and the reason that they left him behind, they left Momo behind, and the reason that they're still at the dock in the first place is because Luffy had Usopp making a giant Jolly Roger for Momonosuke to hang and display on Wano, so that everyone knows that this is his territory, and if anyone fucks with Momo, they're fucking with Luffy, which I fucking love so fucking much. I've waited for this moment for a long time. It never really felt empty on Fishman Island, but now it feels significant. Also, speaking of Fishman Island, I hope that there's a callback to that, because he laid claim to that, and I hope like now that there's weight behind him being a Yonko, Poseidon or whatever puts up, not Poseidon, Neptune, King Neptune puts up what's it called, a Straw Hat Jolly Roger for them. But I'm very excited about that, even though there's this one reviewer I like a lot. His name is not Mark, best guy ever, and he was like, the one problem with doing stuff like that though is we're so far in the series that like if something were to happen to Wano, I simply can't see Straw Hats being like, oh, we gotta go back to Wano. But like as far as figurative victories, symbolic gestures, I get what's happening here. It's just Oda establishing Luffy's, you know, title and might and influence and like just everything going on. So I get it. I'm cool with it. Anyway, they say their goodbyes and they set off. Momo has a really cool line where he's like, Kinemon, mark my words, I will surpass Kazuki Oden. Kinemon, being the hype man that he is, he's like, I know you got it. I'll be there with you every step of the way. Yamato ruins the moment, being like, you're talking about me, right? I'm over the gag. I'm over the gag. I'm over the gag. I'm over the gag. But, you know, they had a really cool goodbye. By the way, really loving Nami's steez. She has this really cool outfit on with the turtleneck and whatnot. I thought it was cute. I thought it was adorable. And so, you know, they all set sail, right? And so as they're setting sail, you know, Nami basically says, hey, we're going to go take the, you know, the lift down. And honestly, I was super excited about this because, you know, we've been told about a lift. We've been told about an alternate route in and out of Wano, and we never got to see it. So I was like, sweet, we're going to get to see that. And then we get baited by freaking Kid. And he's like, oh yeah, you guys are going to take the lift like freaking losers? Yeah, that's the safe and, you know, I remember what he says. He's like, that's the safe and easy route. And then immediately baits the shit out of Luffy and Law. And they're immediately on track to go off the cliff with him. Reminding me a lot of one of my favorite, probably like my top one, like it's in my top 2 favorite scenes of Wano, when, you know, they have to, like when Big Mom throws the heavily bonbons and they're like, you know, first one to like move is like a punk or whatever, or a bitch, and like, and they're all just like, that was one of my favorite scenes in all of Wano, and it kind of reminded me of that. I will say though, I'm a little upset with how visibly like triggered Law was. Law has always been one of those cool, calm, collect characters, and I know that it would have gotten to him, but I wish he didn't verbally express it. I wish it was more of a situation where he was like, you know what, your words, your insults aren't gonna reach me, but then he does it anyway. Like, I love when Law does that kind of stuff where like he acts all like high and mighty and better than thou, but then gives in. In this moment, he completely was like, now we're doing it. And then we get this really cool scene where they all just jump off the waterfall, and it is spectacular and completely in like all the crew's nature, plus or minus Law. Yeah. The last part I will talk about is super sad about, we get this final panel with all the scabbards, and Raizo looks the exact same. So not only did Shinobu, for whatever freaking reason, gain her youth and looks back, like with Raizo didn't, and on top of that, it just looks like we are not going to get an explanation for it. Because I thought, okay, let's see what Raizo looks like, and just poor Raizo, just always doomed to like never get anything his way, just constantly things suck for him. And I mean, I think that's it. I feel bad, like I want to, like, normally in my reviews I delve deeper into stuff and think about like what's next, but like this was just, you know, the end of the arc. That's what it came down to. There might be some things I missed, but I really don't want to get into it. All in all, cool chapter. Cool ending to a turbulent arc. We'll call it a turbulent arc. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just excited to see what happens next. Literally, like, we're in the end game now. I know I've said that repeatedly on this video and other videos, but we are in the end game now. Everything right now is high stakes. We're in the end game now. I know I've said that repeatedly, but we're in the end game now. Everything after this is just, you know, high stakes. Oh, one last thing. Okay. Last thing. I promise I'll be done. I promise I'll be done after this. Something that really rubbed me the wrong way was the final scene where they're telling the story and they're talking about Hiyori, and she does the part where the Kurozumi were born to burn, which is like a play on Odin was meant to be boiled. I didn't like it. Another issue I had with this arc was I'm not a fan of how the whole Kurozumi thing was handled. I said it before, we saw kind of a parallel with Doflamingo and Corazon, where it doesn't matter like how you're treated. What matters is how you treat people, and sins of the father and all of that, blah 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 blah. But I just feel like it's kind of fucked up to ignore the role that the Kazuki clan had in creating Orochi. Would Orochi have been bad anyway? Quite possibly, but like, you can't tell me that his actions, his mentality, those things weren't spurred from, the atrocity that he had to witness, that he was born into. From the moment he was born, he was an enemy. People tried to kill him. Like, I still think Orochi is a despicable person, and I think he's a head ass. But do I think that he has some semblance of like justification and rationalization for like what happened and like what he became and his hatred of Wano? Absolutely. And to kind of just like sweep it under the rug, to kind of not address it, to kind of like create this whole new dogma and like propaganda where now we're talking shit about the Kurozumi, where now effectively all the Kurozumi are dead because of something that one bad apple Kurozumi started. It rubs me the wrong way, and I just thought Oda was going to do more with that. Similar to how I thought he was going to do more with like the whole free will being taken with the with Otama's dango fruit, and it just ended up being, after a certain amount of days they go back to normal, and then they get to decide if they want to stay with Otama again. So it's okay that she forcibly subjugated them. It's okay because we like her, unlike Candy from Dressrosa. So I don't know, man. Conflicting views, rub me the wrong way. But anyway, we're moving on. We're done with this. We're past. It's time to focus on the future. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I really, really hope you guys don't think I was being like a sourpuss or a drag down or like dragging One Piece. It's just, this is my personal opinion. This is how I feel about this section. Sue me, all right? Anyway, if you like this review, or you just want to support me, would really appreciate a like, share, subscribe. Whatever you send my way, I'll be greatly appreciative for. Anyway, that concludes this review of chapter 1057 of One Piece. Have a great and phenomenal weekend. Take care. Peace.